Do you remember when we went to Sardinia, Italy, an island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, an island that we know the old world civilization lived? Today, we are going back for more. We have located one of the weirdest sites in the world, an old world burial site, a necropolis. And I believe that we have found the clearest evidence to this point that the group that is controlling the mainstream history, they went in there and removed the old world people from the site. And I believe we know exactly why. We found the giant statues in Sardinia in episode 103. And now today, we are told that the rectangular burial chambers are large enough to accommodate multiple bodies, when we all know that there was only one body per chamber. These chambers measure 6 to 12 feet in length. 12 feet. Giants. And like we have seen so many times now, these giants most likely had extra digits. The 6 fingers, the 6 toes that we have shown multiple times now. In the 19th and 20th centuries, yet again, over and over, our timeline, our current civilization, the necropolis faced significant disruption due to industrial quarrying and urban expansion, where this activity destroyed many of the tombs and would have disturbed or removed any remaining remains. This is a deliberate attack on our true history 100%. We can clearly see that they located the bodies all over this site and purposely removed them from our timeline. The problem is that they didn't fill the holes in. And now we can clearly see what they've done. Archaeological reports from earlier excavations have documented the presence of skeletal remains. All of this was found, or as they say, rediscovered in the 1800s during military construction activities, where it was accidentally unearthed. Do you really believe this still? It was accidentally found in our timeline yet again? Or did they know what they were doing during a military activity? Were the first studies conducted by Domenico Lovisato in the 1880s, and never before this. The initial findings in the 1800s, the excavation found skeletal remains in the tombs. They found the previous civilization in the 1880s, and they admit this. Buried in every single one of these, where the tombs were designed to house bodies. And then they give us our favorite discovery of all time, the pottery. They give us the pottery again. This is amazing. Like I've said before, if they didn't give me the pottery, I think I'd lose my mind. This is the most incredible thing about the story. I love it when they give me the pottery. Thank you so much, narrator. I love the pottery. It completes your incredible, stupid story. The incredible teacups of the past, with many of the skeletal remains that they found in the 1880s, of course, being lost. Just lost. Can you believe this? Just losing these skeletons. Do you still believe these stories that you've been told? Can you see how they are controlled and molded to fit the mainstream narrative and hide our true past, the previous civilization? Hiding it over and over, taking it out of our view, literally taking it out of the ground and moving it somewhere else, destroying it all over the world, hiding an advanced previous civilization that was here before us, a much different story than what we've all been told. Telling us that since 1880, the bones just decayed. No. Grave robbers, the looters disturbed the tombs. This is all just the finders, in my opinion. We have seen the looters in every narrative. We know that the looters were the same group that found the site. These are the same people writing the narrative. They are removing both remains and artifacts. And then the urban development that just wiped out the rest, obliterating any remaining remains. What did they find here since the 1880s? Obviously something incredible, something that they didn't want us to see. And then they set up things like this. This is the pottery that they found, and they couldn't even stand it up properly. This is embarrassing that we all believed that this is actually what was found at the site. We all know now that they just made this pottery in a warehouse and then put some dirt on it and put it in a cage and said it was from thousands of years ago, so that we would all say, wow, the people of the past were so primitive. They weren't advanced at all. So pathetic. And then we would never ask another question about what was really found at the site. We have so many of these burials, and then right next to it, we have this structure that looks like something that's been melted and has a door that you can enter and go deeper into. There's an arch over here on the side, with some sections, of course, off limits to you and me, all to preserve their narrative. Preservation. The necropolis opened to the public partially, as we just showed, in May 2014, meaning that it was fully off limits to the public for over 130 years, dating back to the 1880s, when they found it, and originally covered an area of about 200 acres, meaning that this entire site was, and possibly still is, covered with the old world bodies, right underneath everybody's houses right here. And we are just getting started today, because this is where things get insane. Only 1 mile away, we have found so much more. Something that is still here today. Welcome to episode 117 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. Weak coffee is for the weak. And at Rumble, weak has never been part of the mission. That's why 1775 coffee is the official coffee of Rumble. Bold, fresh, and it's made for people who stand for something. I drink a lot of coffee. It's how I start the day every day. Some of the coffee I've drank has been decent. Most of it has been forgettable. But 1775 coffee, it's the one that gets me out of bed. I look forward to drinking it every single morning. No burnt taste, no corporate shortcuts, just small batch, single origin coffee with an 85 plus cupping score, which lands it in specialty grade. And you can definitely taste the difference. Dark roast, medium roast, and Vitality mushroom blend. It's available in whole bean, ground, and pods. However you brew it, it's roasted fresh and ready to fuel your day. Go to 1775coffee.com. Use code CORES for 15% off. That's KOHRS for 15% off. And start your morning with a coffee that stands for something. Oh, and I forgot to mention, every single dollar spent enters you to win a Cybertruck and $30,000 in cash, because supporting the right companies should come with reward. 1775coffee.com. Use code CORES for 15% off. And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, David and Sherry Ferguson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, the Burlesons, Suez KC, Edwin Rice, Helmut, Charles Kruger, Don Gaston, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Edward and Brianna, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glasscock, PKTFnews.org, Ben Dries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Amberson EMC, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Double Task Homestead, John Adams, Roberts O'Zolins, The Arnolds, Attila Power, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Dakota Dunn, Ivan Apoctoli, EdgarT-shirts.com, Jason Hochberg, Marie C, ValleyMedicinals.com, Kyle Logan, Alina and Chris the IT Guy, Michael Dingyu, Patriot Armory, Tom O'Hara, Michael D. Connor, C3SCOB, Jeffrey Temple, SonyaDane.com, James Alt, Bucksui, Jason Prest, Suki Warrior, We the People, Migs, Mark Chapman, Muji and Declan, Ariana Oates, Jenica Joyce, Nathan Burba, Ski, Codrenth, Beacon of Truth, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, Kay Moore, DevlinMcGregor.com, Diamond Jewel, David Rauschenbach, Emily Maryland, Felipe, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Paraplegic Coffee, Ellie Annie, Ivan Apoctoli, Seth Craigo, D Woods, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Wayne T, Late for Dinner, Wanakar Camo, Paolo Goncalves, Blake, Rick Tapke, Ducks, MDF TFV, William Richard Jeffries V, Dax Bilchek and Son, Dylan Mugenberg, Leonard Insalacro, Robert Petro, Katz Hill, Susie Q, Yark 143, Sven Eric, Janet Elizabeth, Dr. Mom, Carrie, Kitty Kitties, Making Eagles, GOL, I'm Patriot, Doc Halo, Kenneth Putt, Friz Tickle, Brenna Fernandez, Paraduction, Jack Kramer, Henry's Mom, Necrodemonics, A&W Kerrigan, Tim Skin, Rod Wah, Jesse DeLeon, VKH Bonner, Lisa Boutwell, Jimmy Jacobs, Bruce Latour, Anna Marley and Nunzio, Lucy, The Lady Lacey Show, Shiba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. Remember how many times to this point that we have been told that everything was found in the 18 and 1900s? So when we go just 1 mile away and see the Cagliari Cathedral and read the narrative that it was built in the 13th century and obtained cathedral status in the year 1258, not 1257 and not 1259, but exactly 1258. We know that this is just ridiculous at this point, pinning down the date from 767 years ago. Even their AI system agrees with us. I went through a long conversation with it, finally got it to tell us the truth. Here it is. Yes, I agree with you. It is entirely possible that the 1258 date is speculative or based on incomplete evidence, especially since no primary sources or widely recognized public records have been directly cited to verify it. There is no evidence that this place was ever constructed in the year 1258. This date is made up, with zero evidence provided, and we all just believed it for years. We sat in those seats, and they told us 1258 is the year that it obtained cathedral status. This is the year, and you're gonna believe it. And we did, until now. It even goes on to tell us we are right. Without tangible evidence, this date remains unproven. The history that we are told is complete nonsense. It's made up. And this is coming straight from their system, their AI. They even try to give us this ridiculous story that in 1702, they began demolishing the facade and then rebuilt it and changed it to the Baroque style. And then in the 20th century, the Baroque style just went out of style, and they just decided, let's demolish that as well. This is insane. This is the original building. There were 0 remodels. The only thing that may have happened is the demolition. There were no improvements made to this palace. This building is incredible. Remember, we were told the necropolis originally spanned 200 acres. I think at this point, we all know that it's bigger than that, and most likely goes underneath this cathedral. And what do we know about bodies being buried underneath churches at this point? We have spent hours. We have documented evidence to this point on this topic. Episode 72, episode 78, and episode 92 are great places to start. Do we also remember episode 112? When I said all of Cyprus was one massive necropolis. It isn't just a small necropolis over here and another one over there. All of them are connected. They are all one. And to tie all of this together today, where we go back to the beginning, the Chalkandi tombs, where we found these giant tombs with incredible designs all over them. You would think that these would be the only ones in the world. You would think that this would be a once-off. when we only have to travel 25 miles away yet again. And we find even more, showing that this is all connected. This entire area is connected, not just above ground, but also below, showing that, in my opinion, this is a massive burial site right here in Pakistan with a much deeper meaning, where there is an admission. We are told what this is, dating back to at least the 13th century. I believe it is the same exact thing going on right here in Sardinia, Italy, especially when we read bodies are buried under Cagliari Cathedral, 1 mile away from the massive necropolis. 1 mile. You have bodies under this cathedral. Remember when everybody used to ask, where did this incredible previous civilization go? They would all ask, where are they? I think we all know now. And it is all over the world. Exactly like we've shown. Places with made-up stories about the building. With bodies buried underneath the floors. Massive necropolises within a mile. And if anybody can get inside this cathedral and send me a picture on X, who is at the top of this thing? We have a bunch of angels. And then take a look at this individual right here on the top. It looks like a skeleton's head. And is this guy wearing a crown? What in the world is going on here? Let's zoom in on it. Okay, that is definitely a skull. This is crazy. Just knowing what we know about what is underneath the ground in this entire location. A bunch of dead people. We'll come back to this in a minute. First, check this room out. Look at the architecture. There's angels all over this place. Going back to episode 75, episode 91, showing that the angels helped build the old world. Very interesting, and a ton of evidence of this. Right outside, we see griffins on the wall of one of these buildings. So that's on this building to the right, the Piazza Palazzo. This entire area is not at all what we've been told. Thank you to all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber, and everybody who likes the episodes. I appreciate every single one of you. You are all awesome and helping grow this channel to a bigger and bigger audience every single week. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok, Rockfin, and Spotify, so you never miss a thing. Now let's get back to this room. Here's the angel, and let's spin the camera around here. And let's read exactly what this thing right above the door says. A cathedral with bodies buried underneath it. Let's read this. Inscribed on the most ancient marbles was dedicated to Saint Lucifer, Archbishop of Cagliari. His sacred remains were discovered and extracted from the earth, and they were placed here to honor the memory of this church's sanctity and its primate. They are revealed to the world and dedicated to God in the most sacred manner. Dedicated to Saint Lucifer, and then finding his remains and placing them there in the church. What the heck are we reading? And then we see this individual at the top. Being at the top normally means that you are in charge. This individual at the top is a powerful individual with a skull head and a crown. What happened here? I have a feeling that we are far from being done with this location. There are angels all over the place, a palace, and Saint Lucifer being engraved into the wall. I do not believe the story that we've all been told about this place is the full story. Who else is with me on that? I think there's a lot missing and a lot more to come. And this is when we are told that this depiction is in fact a depiction of Saint Lucifer. Saint Lucifer is in charge of the church, a church that's on top of the dead. What history are we not all being told? What actually happened here? What happened here where we all live? What may still be happening here and we are totally in the dark about it. St. Lucifer's Cathedral in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea on top of a massive necropolis. And we are told right above the door that he's buried there. It's also one thing to have one building, but we have found another, the Chapel of St. Lucifer. And take a look how close all of this is together. Right here, we have the Chapel of St. Lucifer. And then right next to it, we have the cathedral with the depiction of St. Lucifer looking pretty dead. And then we keep going, and again, all right next to each other, we have the necropolis that ranges for at least 200 acres that we are told of, and most likely connects to all of these buildings. It is one of the weirdest locations in the world for sure, without a doubt. We are told that this church of St. Lucifer was used as a necropolis. Remember, a necropolis is a burial site, especially a large one, belonging to an ancient city, the old world, the crypt. Specifically excavated among these relics found were those attributed to Saint Saturninus, as well as Saint Lucifer. So we just found that Saint Saturn and Saint Lucifer were buried together, right here in Sardinia, Italy. Do you understand the significance of this? We were told earlier that this cathedral is a Roman Catholic cathedral. In Roman mythology, where the myths are looking less and less like myths now. If you want me to go deeper into this in the future, let me know in the comments. What an incredible location that we have found. Very interesting characters from the old world found, and the depictions of them are in the art, and they are shocking. All of this is in the middle of the sea. I cannot wait for next weekend. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I will be back very soon with so much more. See ya.